What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jose here at the First Round By Podcast, accompanied by my boy, Mr. Sauce.
What's up, guys? And guess what? Welcome to episode 14. We actually have another body, another warm body. I'm hoping he's kind of warm. We got our friend.
Depends on the day. Ask my wife.
Mr. Bryan Carter.
Thank you. I'm honored to be your first guest on the show, and I'm ready to take my lumps, and I'm ready to talk some football.
Absolutely.
Hell
We
yeah.
are so happy to have him on. And if you couldn't tell, he's kind of a Ravens fan, I think.
Just a little bit in the mix since '96, our inception. I'm a big Ravens fan. Will be until the day I die, and happily sitting on top of the AFC North. So
That's right.
We're really excited.
And on this episode, that's actually kind of what we're going to be talking about. We are going to be going over and debating and talking about the contenders in the NFL. And I mean, what better episode to bring Mr. Carter on than whenever his Ravens are atop the division right now. So.
Honestly, one of the top teams in the NFL.
Oh, absolutely.
No, you know what's crazy too? Because going into the season, everybody doubted the Ravens because they lost, 3 running backs?
3 running backs almost in consecutive weeks. It was crazy. We also lost Marcus Peters right after Gus Edwards the following play. It was just crazy to think that, we lose J.K. Dobbins, who I was really high on going into the year. And then, Gus the Bus is a great backup, and we were expecting him to be able to run for 5-6 yards of carry. And then he goes down, and then, we got Justice Hill, and Justice Hill goes down, and then we lose Marcus Peters. It's like, man, what are we going to do? And, and then it's a testament to Lamar Jackson and, our offensive line and the coaching. I mean, the fact that, we're basically keeping the game simple for Lamar Jackson and allowing him to be who he is. And that's a dynamic, player. And,
oh, yeah.
He's incredible to watch. And I mean, it's fun to see that division because, the Bengals are up and coming, the Steelers aren't going away. I mean, that's going to be a tough division come September, October. So,
and it's crazy too, because like if you rewind like a few years back, that was one of the worst divisions in the league. Like
100%.
Like it was more than likely the Steelers or the Ravens were going to come out.
Right.
More than likely the Steelers, or I guess the Ravens have been pretty hot for the past couple decades.
Yeah. I mean, they consistently fielded a pretty good team. At the time, the only thing that they were really lacking, because correct me if I'm wrong, but before it was Lamar, it was Joe Flacco, right?
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
And I actually really like Joe Flacco, but I saw him more as a game manager type with the big arm, like with the big play possibility every once in a while, but it just was kind of few and far between.
The funny thing about Joe Flacco, and being a Ravens fan, I saw most of his games, just up close and personal. Like during the regular season, he was very like vanilla, average, middle of the road, and then he earned his money come playoff time. Like he would always show up in like the biggest of games. He would make those throws when he needed to make the throws. The Mile High Miracle, that wasn't so much him as far as it was the corner falling down, but we're not going to discuss that. we're going to allow that just to be in the past. But
right.
He was a game manager, and to your point, I mean, he managed the games, especially when the biggest games were on the line, and he had to have that throw. He was just cool under pressure, and he never really seemed phased.
Right.
I always felt bad for him too, because he kind of just like lost his job to Lamar, and like he went to the Jets and the Broncos, right?
I think that's right.
I believe
and
that's
then
right.
like you never really heard anything from him.
I know.
So
Well,
bad,
and he actually kind of. Credit to the front office of the Ravens, because I felt like they cut bait whenever like they absolutely needed to. You guys got one of the best GMs in the game.
Absolutely, there's no doubt. I mean, he always knows how to draft, and most of his draft picks go on to have just Hall of Fame careers. It's incredible. I mean, just a credit to the organization. But I'll be the first one to admit, coming out of college, I was very skeptical of Lamar Jackson, and when we traded up to get him at the end of the first round, I sat there and I remember saying, what the hell are we thinking? I'm like, because I remember watching him in college, and I mean, he was electric with his legs, not doubting that one bit, but he had accuracy issues, and, he would throw the ball at people's feet, and he would throw them, maybe a yard short or not lead him the way he was supposed to. So,
which is weird because he's got a cannon of an arm.
Yeah, and the way he throws, he just flicks it so easily, and I think that's part of the issue is his accuracy, because he has such a strong arm. He doesn't know how to take some off of it, but credit to the offensive line and credit to that coaching staff for building an offense around him.
Oh, yeah.
Basically,
100%.
The fact that we, have led the league in rushing up until this year. I think we're third this year, but the last 2 years we've led the league in rushing, and that goes to show that it goes a long way. But I'm ready for him to take that next step and show that he's a playoff caliber quarterback,
Right.
that he can earn that money, because I love his attitude. I love the way he leads that organization. I'm just ready for him to get over that hump.
So does that mean that now you have become a believer in him and you are okay and you don't hate the draft pick now?
Absolutely. I still have a love-hate relationship because I'm so passionate about football that when he makes an errant throw, obviously I'm going to yell at him like, he's my child or something. Like I have a vested relationship in him, but that's just part of my makeup and the excitement and the emotion I have for the sport.
100%.
But yeah, I'm excited to see him kind of battle the Mahomes and the Herberts of the next 5 to 10 years. And I was talking to Jose about this before you got here, that I'm excited for the AFC North. I mean, Herbert and Mahomes for the next 5 or 10 years, that's Brady Manning 2.0. And I mean, if no one sees that, then you're not a football fan.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
It's going to be so fun to watch.
Yeah,
And
it's actually...
sorry, Sauce.
No, go ahead.
Because they play twice a year too.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
they do have the potential to play in the playoffs too.
Yes.
So it's you
nasty.
potentially have like a chance to see them play 3 times a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
is it a long shot? Maybe, but I mean, it's
Right.
still a possibility.
And it's always going to be a good game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and don't
for
sleep
sure.
on the Chargers, because I mean Bosa, he's getting stronger. I mean that defensive front, so they could cause headaches for Mahomes in the playoffs. But I mean, it's just, to me, the AFC is wide open this year. I mean, don't
really
get me
is.
wrong, the season is still early, and I still expect the Chiefs to totally come on and do their thing. But the Bills
Yeah.
are looking strong. My Ravens are looking strong. The Titans are looking strong with that dominating, just that victory over the Bills.
That's right.
I had to give you props,
That's right.
man.
I appreciate that.
Derrick Henry, three touchdown games this season. The whole NFL has 4.
Oh,
Like,
and
the-
he's
the
not
rest
slowing
of
down either.
No, he's not
slowing down.
And the thing that
You know
makes
what?
him
He talks about Derrick Henry more than I do. I think I like this guy.
well, hey, I respect the game of football, and like we talked earlier, I love smash mouth, and I love just grind them out offenses, and I love just running the
100%.
ball down teams' throats. And the thing that makes Henry so scary is not only is he so big, he gets stronger in the second half.
Yeah.
So when
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a defensive lineman and a linebacker, and you come out of that halftime and you're already down 10 points, knowing that you're fixing to get a
scary.
heavy dose of King
That's
Henry.
right.
I mean, it's demoralizing. It,
It really
is.
is. It really, really is. And that's part of the reason why I absolutely love Derrick Henry. I mean, I love the way that our offense runs. And for the most part, for a while, I was actually kind of frustrated with it because I know we spoke earlier about it, but I started getting more toward like wanting a kind of a finesse team.
Sure.
Because, I mean, we signed Julio. We got AJ Brown.
Absolutely.
And we do have some other wide receivers that don't have big names, obviously, but the fact that we have somebody who could potentially be a Hall of Fame caliber running back, then it makes me change my mind and my perspective on stuff. And that's one of the things that I love about not only the game, but for fans of the game, to be able to take certain things, certain aspects of it, and if it's different from what you're normal to, then you change your mind on certain things. Like, I've actually changed my mind on Lamar Jackson quite a bit. Obviously, no good Titans fan is going to absolutely love another Ravens fan, but I do love this guy. He's a pretty good dude. But it's one of those things where I still, because I am a football fan, I think Lamar Jackson is absolutely electric. I still kind of question his passing ability sometimes, and part of that is because, he's still not completely polished as a passer.
No,
but he has played a lot better this year.
Oh, I agree.
Better.
His completion percentage is up. I agree with that, and he's showing that when he has to, he can be that pocket quarterback. But the problem with Lamar Jackson is he's so electric. It's like, you almost like don't want to put reins on him. It's almost like having a wild stallion that's like going to just run wild all over any and everyone that he can, but you almost have to harness that, because my biggest knock on Lamar Jackson to this point is he turns the ball over too much. But that's also because he wants the ball in his hands when the game's on the line. He wants to make that play. He wants to ride or die and be that guy. But I mean, there's that's kind of, exactly. That's kind of my whole point about him getting over the hump as far as in the playoffs is if he can learn to control those turnovers, man, he can be really something special. He already is, but he can be that next level.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I saw something on Facebook the other day. I think if not most of his stats, like passing touchdowns, rushing yards, passing percentage, completion, whatever. I think it's actually all better than what his stats were his MVP season.
Yeah, no, you're right. His completion
record.
percentage is up right now. It's I have to look it up, but I think it's definitely up in the top of the league right now.
Which is nuts. Plus, I mean, the Ravens, they still, like you said, other than the Titans, they're one of the most injured teams right now. And so that's actually kind of a testament to the team building ability of both the franchises. Because the Ravens, you guys are what, 5-1?
Yeah, that's right. 5-1.
So 5-1, and the Titans are 4-2. They just came off that huge win over Buffalo.
Yep.
Another big contender. So it's a testament to the GM's drafting and signing ability and being able to keep contenders around and keep contenders alive. And especially with that offense, it's pretty much Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. And what's funny is, it's such a run first offense. Like you almost don't know when, and as to my point earlier about taking the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands, you have to give these other guys a chance to run the ball and to control the clock and, control the play. But then when you have this guy that's so electric that can just, take it to the house on any given play, or, he can throw the ball to Hollywood down the field for a 69-yard gain. It's like, it's hard to realize that, it's a 4-quarter game and you have to manage and take some 4-and-outs and take some facts, move the chains, maybe a couple first downs, and then have to punt the ball because you can't hit the home run on every drive. And it's hard because, and me being a Ravens fan, I want to see them, put up 50 points a game, but it's just not in the cards. The way their offense is predicated, it's, game management, control the clock, and then allow your defense to, take control of the, field, the part of the field and control the field and basically, pin the team deep and allow your defense to try to make a turnover and
absolutely.
try to anything like that. So,
and the thing about him too is he runs the ball down your throat. He doesn't go to the sidelines.
Exactly.
He goes straight down the middle.
He does.
and he scares the crap out of me.
And he still makes people miss. You know what I mean? Which is nuts.
Every time he runs like a sweep towards the sideline, I just have Robert Griffin nightmares in my head going off. Like he's going to go to slide or he's going to do something and he's going to tear an ACL and then our season's going to be just completely shot. So, to credit to him, he's a smart player. He hasn't been injured yet. He knows when to, go out of bounds and when to, fight for that extra yard. But, sometimes, and I think his coaches will tell you too, that sometimes you just have to kind of, take the slide, move on to the next play, and, don't try to make that extra ditch effort if it's going to hurt you in the long run or, potentially hurt your team. But
Absolutely. Well, and I will say this. He has done a lot better job of being able to protect the football and everything. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he's having an MVP caliber season so far.
Yep.
But with that being said, we also got several other people who are having MVP type seasons.
Absolutely.
We're going to play a little game real quick here.
All right.
We're going to play Contender or Pretender.
I want to play a game.
That's right. So, Carter and Josie, you can answer as well. We'll go with the Bengals. Contender or Pretender? Carter?
The Bengals?
The Bengals.
Man, that's tough. For this season, I'm going to tentatively say Pretender, but don't sleep on them because I think they are going to be there very, very quickly. I think come late in the season and playoff time, I think the inexperience of Joey Burrow and Chase are going to show.
Okay, I can see that.
And the fact that Joe Mixon, he's having a good season, but he does tend to have some lingering injury issues. And if he goes down, I don't really know what they have behind him, so that scares me because we all know in the playoffs, a good defense and a run game can take you far.
Right.
So I'm going to say tentatively Pretender this year, and that's just maybe because they're in my division. I don't want them to be a contender.
That makes sense.
But I think they're definitely on the horizon, and they're a team that's going to be scary for several years, especially if Burrow and Chase can stay healthy. Watch out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Josie?
So, kind of to hit on what he said, I think, if I had to choose between one of the two, contender or pretender, I would say contender. But kind of like what he was saying, I don't think they have the experience to make it far into the playoffs.
Right.
Do I think they can make the playoffs?
That's a really good point.
100%.
That's a really good
They
point.
can make the playoffs, but let's just say they match up against, whatever other team. Who else is in there?
If they match up against like the Bills or the Titans in the first round, they're going to have issues.
Exactly.
They are.
Because not only are they going to have to go to that place, they're going to have to contend with either Henry or Josh Allen or that three-headed monster. So
Exactly.
What about you, Sauce?
I'm going to say contender. And part of the reason why I say contender is because, like you said, everything else aside, the way that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are playing right now is just, it's absolutely nasty. So currently at this point in the season, I would say contender. Now that could change because, like you pointed out, I mean, we don't know what they have behind them. They got a pretty good receiving core, but I don't even know who's backing up
They
Joe
got
Burrow.
P. Ryan, but I think he's out as well.
Yeah, P. Ryan, I think he's hurt, but
Yeah.
man, I feel like you guys are ganging up on me. Like I'm the only one that actually said they were a pretender. I think it's the fact that I'm the first one on the show and you guys
That's
are
right.
asking me, ganging up on me.
That's right. And
that's all right though.
It happens.
Hey, they might be a contender. We'll see. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
All right. Here's the next one. This one's going to be, I wouldn't say controversial, but a little bit controversial. I'm going to ask about the Raiders, the Sin City Raiders.
Jesus.
Sin City Raiders.
All right. So Carter, thoughts on the Raiders? Do you think that they are contenders or pretenders?
Absolute pretenders. I don't trust. I just don't trust their defense. Josh Jacobs is kind of a question mark. I mean, he's a true bell cow of a running back when Gruden was in charge, but now they have a new offensive scheme. I don't know if he's going to be as dominant or as prevalent in the offense as he once was. I think they may have to try to air the ball out more, and I think that Derek Carr has shown over. Given the course of the season, he can put up a bunch of yards, but I think he also could, make
I think we've seen
a
a
costly
ceiling.
interception or a costly, turnover when need be. So I'm gonna say there because especially in the loaded AFC West, I mean, I just can't see them coming out of that or even winning a wild card. So I'm gonna say pretender.
Pretender, Josie.
Sauce, you already know how I feel about this.
No,
I don't know why, but I don't like the Raiders. Like not that I hate the Raiders, but I just don't like them. Like I never have. Like I can't remember one time since I started watching football that I was like, oh my god, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
Raiders.
so you didn't get excited to see the Raiders?
No, I get that. Their style of football is just not very. It's not
man.
very exciting.
And it's crazy
so
too
boring.
because you would think that a lot of players would want to play with the Raiders because I mean,
Well, especially now in Vegas.
in
Right.
Vegas and in Oakland previously, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of Carr, man, and you know this. And with all the Gruden stuff going on,
Yeah,
they don't
I was
have
about to
like
say, that's the
they don't
big
have
thing,
like
too.
a leader there, a true leader, I should say.
There's
so.
just too much of a spotlight on the organization outside of football for me to feel that they can concentrate enough on football to be prevalent, to be good.
Yeah, see, and obviously, I think that they're pretenders because whenever I look at that team, I literally like most of these other contenders, you can at least find one decently okay like superstar potential person. They look like a bunch of average Joes.
Well, they got Waller. He's probably, in my opinion,
Well,
the
whenever your
second best
tight end is
behind
your
Kelsey.
Well, whenever your best, like the most superstar potential you have is in your tight end, that's I mean, no disrespect I guess it is kind of disrespect to him. So I apologize, Raiders fans, but man, if Darren Waller is the guy that you point to like, yeah, that's our superstar.
Right.
Then it's just like I don't know, guys.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think tight ends have definitely, obviously, a prevalent, role in our offense. I mean, you look at Travis Kelce and George Kittle and the Darren Wallers. That's great, but I mean, the teams that have shown they can go into, the deep into the playoffs and actually make a run at the Super Bowl, you either have to have a top-notch quarterback, a run game, or defense, and I don't know that they have any of those three. Right?
I don't think that they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and that makes sense because, and like you said, they're in a loaded division, and even though they're currently on top of the Chiefs right now, I mean, but whenever they play the Chiefs, they always play the Chiefs really, really tough.
Right.
But everybody in that division plays each other really tough.
And it's the interdivisional. It's almost like whenever, we play, I'm sorry, I'm going to touch on college football for a minute because I'm a diehard OU fan as well. But It's like when OU plays Iowa State or OU plays Oklahoma State. You wouldn't think that it would be that relevant of a game, but it's like those either divisional games or those, like rivalries, you never know. It's a coin flip, like OU Texas. I mean, whenever, and I apologize, Jose, but kind of a big Texas fan, and we do what we can, and it's a great rivalry, and I love OU Texas, but there's certain seasons where Texas has no business beating OU, and they go in and they beat us by 2 touchdowns. I mean,
absolutely,
it's just those interdivisional games you never know, because like Miami.
Oh,
whenever Tom Brady was in New England, he had a stigma for when he would go to Miami, he just wouldn't play well.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was about Miami, but he wouldn't play well on the road at Miami.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tight race regardless of whatever division that we're talking about. Right. The AFC West is always going to be tough, and kind of like you said, like you were touching on in college football, everybody teams play certain teams very, very, very well and stuff. And so regardless of whatever matchups that they have going on, it's going to be a crazy game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it's awesome. We love the rivalries. We love being able to obviously talk about all these different divisions and everything.
Yeah.
So
it's an exciting time for football, man. There's some great young quarterbacks that are going to be hopefully good for years to come. It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. You know what else is fun to watch? This episode. I don't know. Right? But yeah, so with that being said, that's all we got time for on this episode. Thank you for watching episode 14. Again, thank you so much to Mr. Bryan Carter for joining up with us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys, taking the time to bring me here and let me be a part of this. So
absolutely. Do you have anything Raven related closing that you would like to say to our lovely viewers?
Man, just go Ravens, and please no more injuries to any running backs. And I hope we can be prevalent come playoff time. So it's going to be an exciting next couple months to watch for sure.
Absolutely. Josie, any closing statements?
No.
No.
I don't have anything for you.
Awesome. Well, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for us. You can find us on YouTube, obviously. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. I think that's all of them. We're also on Instagram, so check us out on Instagram and everything. But if you would like to see Carter's lovely face, definitely check us out on YouTube. Hit up firstroundbuy.com for all your first round buy needs. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
Peace.